Half again, and hello, it's Fo, and welcome back to Turbine City. Last time we popped in a lot of zoning. Just gonna get the demand master on and fix the values. So we're gonna let everything come in. All growing at a decent rate. All the stuff that we've got planned out. Here we can add more residential and commercial. Where we deleted our previous generic industrial. Over here next to the Dean Boy Institute, we'll get some offices in. Just so the students have got a good place to work. Help separate the areas out. So that any noise coming from the residential or the commercial doesn't make it over to the dorms and vice versa. So we'll get everything filled up while we've got the demand master on. It's the best time for zoning and rezoning. As always, we'll try and keep the residential away from the commercial. Make this a little bit commercial, and the rest of this we can have as residential. It should all be fine for the noise. So yeah, we'll let everything come in. Our Chinatown stuff doesn't seem to be doing too well. I've got a lot of things coming through. Got these high density residential buildings. And these are the tenement buildings, different assets. So, yeah, something a little bit different, along with the Green Cities residential buildings and things. We've got plenty more people coming in the area now, more cars and pedestrians and things. Got these interesting vehicles with what looks like kayaks or something on the roof. A couple of people going to check out the riverside maybe, see if this is a good spot for kayaking. Heading back, it's obviously not a good spot for them. Yeah, I've never seen that vehicle before. Let's have a look. Get the game paused and we'll chase it. So it's a park maintenance vehicle. Yeah, I've never used the park maintenance things before. That'll be why I haven't seen the vehicle. This is a nice element of the first person camera mod. You can go from the perspective of a vehicle rather than a person on foot. So we'll see where these guys are driving to. Presume they're going round to check a few parks, then back to base for the end of their shift. There's another perspective on the city. Gives you a greater appreciation of the scale of things. It's nice having the hills off in the far background. Maybe a few of them could do with being smoothed out. They're a bit sort of mountainous rather than hilly. Again, you wouldn't really notice that from directly above, miles up in the sky. So we can see some of our unique buildings and city infrastructure. Hitching a ride with these guys. The train track looks at a nice height above the road. Seems like a realistic and reasonable clearance. Lane switching seems to be fine. The traffic generally seems pretty light, certainly in this part of the city. See some of the taller buildings coming up. That'll be some of the Green City stuff. They're definitely the more impressive of the Growables. Their shift is quite long, and the distance covered is quite a lot. I expected them to maybe go to one place that was nearby and then back to base. They're taking quite a drive around the city. Wow, I can't believe they cut us off. Terrible. Someone phone the cops. Yeah, these buildings are lovely. Green Cities ones. Love the different coloured trees and everything. Looks really nice from down here. You get to see all the vehicles and things. Some RVs and industrial vehicles, service vehicles and things. Cops are always on a mission. It's usually where I had the police budget turned down, less than 100%. There seems to be a cop car on a mission on every street you go down. It doesn't seem too bad. The crime rate is 4%, so... Hey, a bus just went through us. That's definitely a crime. They're speeding away. Why aren't we catching them? Have to report them, catch up with them and get their license plate. Report them for going right through us. We don't even have any buses in this town. What is this vehicle? Now we've got a hearse in the way. We're never going to catch it. I guess we can't complain. I think it was just a small delivery van of sorts running the bus. It's disappeared now. Yeah, there's interest in industrial vehicles and things, the forestry vehicles kicking about. Power stance on these guys. They mean business. These park maintenance guys. Like a radio on the belt, but they're treating it like it's a weapon. Strutting about like John Wayne. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never seen these vehicles or these character models before. These park maintenance guys. Something a bit different. A little drive around the city and a little ride along with these guys while everything's growing in, because we've fixed the values on our demand master. Where's another one going to cut us off? Yeah, no wonder these guys are strutting about. They're probably annoyed with the citizens getting in their way. Our low density Green City stuff. What a lovely little area. Yeah, it'd be nice to live here. Again, lovely coloured trees and stuff. They've all got their own little driveway. Nice little gardens. Yeah, very nice. I'll have to keep an eye out, see if we can see Spider-Man. There's a lot of ladies with sun hats here. Yeah, we should keep an eye out for the web slinger. He's somewhere in the town. It's a bit like a game of Where's Wally. But we're looking for Spider-Man. He should jump out. There are quite a lot of people wearing red. Yeah, sped the footage up to twice the speed, just so the whole episode wasn't this drive. If you want to experience the whole thing in real time, you can run it at half speed. Cop car chasing a lorry there. Yeah, so interesting little things you see. Yeah, an appreciation of the traffic and the journeys that are being made. But yeah, I'm very impressed with these guys. They're doing a sterling job. They're covering quite a large area. They've been at it for quite some time. I doubt where we picked them up is probably not the first place that we're checking either. So they're very diligent. They seem to be covering all sorts of parks, the car parks and different places. We definitely don't need one on every street corner, based on the range of these guys. No, don't know, this is just like a normal car park. Can't tell where this is. Aren't checking for people in the RVs, Walter White, etc. No dodgy stuff going on in Turbine City. Be better if they had lawnmowers and things to actually cut the grass and maintain the places. They just seem to walk around. They seem the type that are just there to harass kids that are kicking balls around or playing with skateboards or whatever. The eye monster floating ominously up there. It's good to see from down here. Scary stuff. Got a scaffold in here, building being upgraded. So yeah, we've got the demand master on. We're giving them a chance to all grow in before we go back and do more work. Oh. Oh wow. At the end of their shift, they magically float up into the sky into the multi-story car park. Well, that's sure interesting. It's an uplifting end to their shift for sure. So when they're coming out, they're fine. But when they come in for their shift, this is how they come in. Wow. After a relatively glitch-free ride along, they go and do that to us at the end. Oh well, yeah, that's the first person camera. You can do it with all the vehicles, I think. I don't think I've tried it with a blimp. So if you can do it with that. Or the hot air balloons. So we've opened up our Ploppable RICO. We don't have a lot of buildings in here. I used to have more when I was first using it. Basically you can place the buildings wherever you like. You can rotate them, that's why it's in a circle, these kind of ones. So you can sort of free place them. It doesn't matter if there's the correct zoning for them or anything. You can sort of place them wherever you want. But the buildings have to be programmed as RICO buildings. So if you're on the workshop and you're downloading an asset that has RICO written next to it, you're going to need the Ploppable RICO to place it. RICO stands for Residential, Industrial, Commercial and Offices. I think more recently people use the combination of Find It and Plop the Growables. And that's going to achieve the same thing. It gives us access to all the Growables, which are the houses and the businesses and all the objects basically. So here we can type in something we want, like if we want residential buildings. See, something is called residential. It's a deck chair, this is no misuse, it's props. So we'd narrow it down to Growables. And we can have a look at our low density houses. This will give us a list of all the low density houses in the game. Every model for each stage of the house's development. This is like a backdoor into all the assets. We just place them manually wherever we like. Just like with the RICO. Doesn't really matter if it's in the right zoning. We can put it wherever we like. So I'll select a few buildings. Just arrange different things. I'll go with the bigger ones. Unless I've got a small space to fill in. Put a few things in here manually. Again, I want ones that are reasonable size. Don't want to mess around with the really little ones that are going to level up. Kind of filter it by level, you can see at the side. I just want to have a look through to get an appreciation of how many assets there are. So we've got our Chinatown models coming up, but they're only appearing in the high density residential. There don't seem to be any low density residential Chinatown models. That's why they're not coming in. So we'll fill up our low density residential with just random things that we like the look of. It's better than letting the game decide. You're going to have rows of the same kind of house if you'd prefer, or mix things up. If you like a certain kind of house, you can use it more than the other ones. Yeah, this is just an example to make up for the lack of low density Chinatown buildings. Looks fine. I'll have a look for Spider-Man. I want to find him and see him kicking about the city. He's not coming up. He's hiding from us. There's no category for searching for citizens. I found our spiral car park though. So we'll get that popped in. Yeah, this gives us access to all the assets, all the buildings and things. This is our prop that we wondered what it was in the assets menu. It just seems to be just a prop version of the same thing. The spiral underground car park. We can maybe trim down New Fatboy Park if it's not going to have all those assets coming in. We'll need to turn on these buildings replaced with the RICO. Because we turned the RICO off, it's turned the buildings off. Yeah, I used to have a lot more assets that require the RICO. This new way seems the way forward. So yeah, if you go through and manually pop in buildings rather than letting them come in by themselves, you find that you get right into the detailing, but it takes forever. So we don't actually have any other types of Chinatown building. This is probably why I stopped using the Chinatown district, because it only has high density residential in it. doesn't have a range of buildings. Really want a district that has all the different types of building, so we can get in commercial and stuff. I guess we trim it down to that, just where we've got the high density residential. It's a bit of a shame. It can't be a new Fat Boy Park. I'll have to change that to Chinatown. Make somewhere else new Fat Boy Park. Got loads of industrial areas. Can always change one of them. Roller district no more. Pow, you're now the Fat Boy district. You're now into forestry. You come out of IT and you're now into forestry. So I'm going to smooth down a couple of these peaks that we saw from our sort of first person perspective when we were driving around with the maintenance guys. Generally do a bit of smoothing out of things. A little work along the riverside. A little work on these more crazy peaks coming out of nowhere. Like I say, with the European theme, you can imagine everything's been rained on a lot more than having these peaks and things. So try and make this area a little bit more realistic. Again, in the map maker, it was obviously a bit rushed. Just getting a bit of variety in to get a different sort of texture of things. It's created a few peaks that definitely need smoothing down. And a bit of realism when we're in the first person view. We're looking off in the background. Maybe add more terrain in the city itself at some point, where we've got our castle and things. Get a few more assets that are up on the hill. Maybe move our observatory as well at some point, and we'll get that elevated. I do like seeing the cable cars, so if we make a few places that are elevated in the city itself, we can maybe get a cable car connection between them. Maybe try monorails as well. Like I've said, I tried them once and didn't like the noise pollution coming off them. I think we can maybe try and use the hub asset as the train station and the monorails. Maybe get that in somewhere down at the seaside. I'm going to do a little bit more work on the river here, just before we go. Add a bit more terrain to the riverbed and then smooth it out. Trying to avoid interfering with the assets we've got in. We've got so many outflow pipes, pushing the water around in every direction. That's causing some of the water to go back up the river, like a salmon. We're not going to worry about that too much. When we take a lot of them out and replace them with assets down at the seaside, that'll change and stop. It'll also lower the level again of the water, so we'll have to add a couple more water sources, I think, to compensate for all the water that we're pumping out, not putting back in. Yeah, we'll come back next time, pick up where we left off. Until then, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.